What up, geeks of the round table? Turn. Make sure my music ain't too loud. Gonna let people come in, flow into this. Trying to also put out a blast for people. Mm-hmm. Send that out. Mm-hmm. Hey, Tune for Thought. Hello, Khadijah. Letting more people flow into here. Put blast out to the folks on the Discord. By the way, I'm pushing the Discord now more. So if y'all want to join in, come chat with me and everybody else, just join the link in the description. Let's see. Get that sent out. Okay. Yeah, that's where that needs to go. Let's chat. Yo, what's up, Brian? Honestly, I'm kind of tired of hearing about Moana 2 at this point. Chef F pretty much summed up where I landed. To be honest, I'm not really going to be talking too much about the movie. What I really want to talk about is kind of, it was something I was talking with Deli the other day about this, but because, they had a ramble for me. they had some shit to say, but I feel the same. And it's like just the problem I have with Moana 2, because I'll admit I haven't seen it. I'm not judging on quality, but I'm judging on how the world ended up taking in this movie, particularly the animation community, I want to say. Because, like, we got to talk about this. This is the fraudulence I want to talk about. How y'all gonna get this movie to 700 million? Okay, and y'all were talking about how, we got to be boycotting Disney, looking out for this and that, but y'all were all hating on Disney and ready to, boycott and everything. Y'all were ready to toss this movie aside when y'all thought it was supposed to be a series that just got mushed together like Atlantis Milo's Return. But then y'all still showed up for this movie. Like, so many people wanted to support Moana 2, and don't get me wrong, the animators deserve all the props for what they had to do with this film from what I saw, what they said about it, because I'm right, it was just a massive rush job. That was the real problem with it. But it's just the fact that it's like everybody was trying to talk about how, we got to stand the ground. We can't keep paying into Disney for all these remakes and rehashes and sequels and all this that a lot of people didn't really ask for. Granted, with Moana 2, there's justification, but it genuinely was like, if you guys are going to have this whole stick to your guns thing, or y'all going to have these scruples, have some follow through. Because, like, this, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, this is worldwide. You can admit that. I can admit that. But it's still a question mark of, like, I don't know if the animation community stands with people like we want to believe. I don't know. Because it's just like, why is Moana why is Moana 2 still getting up there like that when people believed it was supposed to be a rush job, that Disney did some bullshit with it, and then y'all still showed up on even the early screenings. Like, people still showed up for early screenings. But it's like, okay, y'all gonna have some backbone there, or are we just gonna let that fly? Like, come on, guys. It's just one of those things of if you're gonna be saying some stuff like we need to, boycott Disney when they're putting out mediocre stuff and all that, then let's stand by that. Speak with your wallets. Don't go see this the day of or opening weekend or anything like that. Don't go to the early screenings, definitely. So if you're gonna do this whole don't support them when they're being mediocre or not giving their best, it's just, it never makes sense to me. It's like, commit to the bit or don't bother. I still have not seen Moana 2. I've not made the trip. And just because I'm like, from what I've heard, it's like, it doesn't feel like a movie worth watching in theaters. Maybe I'll check it out later. Maybe I'll check it out on streaming or something. But it's just one of those, why give them the money when you guys were just talking about how, you don't want to keep giving into this machine if they're going to keep pumping out mediocre. I just don't get it. Doom for Thought, yeah, I really don't understand this either. I know Moana is a huge name and that social media perception doesn't necessarily reflect the wide public, but this feels so weird. Because, I don't even know. The thing with a Moana 2, the biggest thing I know I take note of is the fact that there's no major cover songs. I have not heard one hit song off of this movie. Like, no matter what, even if you didn't see Frozen, Frozen songs. Even, like, plain and simple. But Moana 2, nothing. I have not seen hide nor hair of any, like, covers or any TikTok covers or nothing. So I don't know a name of any of the songs. I just know that this movie came out and somehow it's still grossing a lot. But it's weird that the word of mouth hasn't picked up that it's not worth watching. I don't know. But again, this is worldwide. It's a question mark of what is the national for the American box office looking like? What's that looking like, Pretty sure most of the people seeing it are families, people who barely go on the internet. That is a fair point, but it's still, the numbers just don't feel right, especially when Disney has not been doing the greatest, but you could argue there's a slight argument for, because of the success of Inside Out, there was potential for, it's a case of people were in their people had it fresh in their minds. They could go to a new Disney movie this year and get some good quality. That's what I feel like. Potentially that's where that's where it feels like a lot of the money did come from. But it's a big again, 717 million still feels crazy a little bit for this. Because again, Disney's still been on a bit of a rough streak. Like, yes, because I don't know. It's just one of those things that always just felt weird a little bit. I'm gonna get to a certain comment in a bit, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that I feel like if the animation community you need to have better scruples about these things, because it kind of goes down to a greater problem, where the animation community likes giving money to mediocrity. Like, that's the bigger point that me and Deli were more talking about. And it's just because you think of, say, the Mr. Burchams, that Daily Wire show, that shit nobody really liked. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this little crappy thing. like everyone was saying, hey, don't bother with this, don't look at it, you know, but yet everywhere you went, so many people were like, let's cover this, we need to cover this, we have to cover the Daily Wire TV show. And I'm like, what happened to not feeding fuel to the fire? Like, you're feeding fuel to the fire here, bro. You're giving them money, you're giving them attention. That's what they wanted. Even though this most likely failed and they're probably not going to keep pushing because it's a money sink at that point. It's like, y'all are paying for this TV show, nobody's watching. So it's just like, why did y'all cover this? You made it famous. Why didn't you let it fade away? Oh my God. Sorry. Eventually I got to make a food order in a sec. But it's just one of those weird things where I genuinely think the animation community needs to come together and understand, when y'all say, let's not give this attention, commit to it, please. Like, I still have not seen one episode of any of these Daily Wire craps. I didn't even see Chip Chila or none of that. But people still wanted to make reaction videos and everything. Big names did, too. I'm sorry, like shout out, like, don't get me wrong. These people are great. A lot of the people in the animation community are good. You know, Saber Sparks, Shafrillis and such. They're good people, but it's just one of those, when to work as a community, we got to listen to each other, okay? And when we say, hey, this is something you shouldn't bother with, maybe listen for a reason. In this case, we should not have, nobody should have been hearing about Mr. Bertram. Only people within the animation space should have known about Mr. Bertram, but nobody should have seen an episode or know how an episode structure worked or anything. No one should have been covering it to say, don't watch it, because now it's like, oh, you piqued my interest. I didn't know about it, so I had no interest in it. But now that you talked about it, I wanted to seek it out. Now, granted, these things were stuck behind paywalls that nobody wanted to bother with, because who the fuck is buying the Daily Wire shit to watch any of this? But it really is just a case of, like, we got to have better scruples about these things. We just genuinely got to say, okay, line in the sand, I'm not talking about that. I am leaving that for it to dwell in the darkness. Okay, I'm leaving it to dwell in darkness like it should. I'm not about to bring it out and try to talk about anything with it. Okay, that's just something I feel like the animation community. That's just something the animation community just needs to have some better backbone on. It's like, when you support animation, support the proper animations that need it. Okay, put more time towards your indies. Put more time towards the shows that aren't getting enough attention versus the shows that don't need the attention. We don't need a video dissecting Mr. Bertram. We don't need anyone reacting to how awful these shows are. There's a reason why most of the people within my clique of the community, like, we don't like covering things we hate. We want to cover the things we love, because that's more important than just what we hate. It's just something that makes it better. It's just something that pushes more the narrative, that pushes the art form better than just focusing on the things that are awful in the art form, you know. Let's read some of the chat. Pretty sure most of the people seeing are from him. Yeah, just even then, it's not like they marketed as successfully as they did with Wish. Yeah, Moana wasn't even marketed that well, and yet it's the fact that it's still doing so well that's a little crazy to me. But again, worldwide is a different question. I feel like when we get the numbers for the US box office, that's when we're gonna figure something out a little bit, because that tweet just says only worldwide, which includes everyone. But when you break down specific locations, that's where we will figure some things out. I don't know why I put that over there. Them being families, that's so chill. Shout out to Chill Ixion. Not so interesting. My partner and her mother went to see Moana too. In general, this whole disconnect is making me wonder if this is where our loyalty to the big five starts to fade. We'll still watch them, except when greatness does come, but it'll be more the exception. I suppose, yeah. I feel like I could see that. Like, a lot of us are starting to realize the hold we have with the hold the big studios have had is kind of waning. So there's kind of the silver lining there, is that people are starting to break away from brand loyalties and recognize that at the end of the day, it's the people that make these things, and it's not a corporation that's going to make it great, because a lot of the time corporations get in the way of the vision and hold it back. You know what I mean? Yeah, barely any of these YouTubers cover Invincible Fight Girl, even though it does get some discussion online. Yeah. Shoutouts to Awkwardly Animated for actually talking about it. Yeah, and you, like you said, Tuber thought you could say it doesn't say clicks, but yeah, Awkwardly Animated got over 100K for his video talking about that, because it's like, yeah, that's an actual interesting show to talk about. I need to go to a different tab, because like Invincible Fight Girl is genuinely what we've been wanting to see with more action shows, something where it's a bit more anime inspired. Sorry, y'all. I cannot spell. Like, Invincible Fight Girl genuinely is one of those things where they have, like, it wears its influences on its belt. I mean, but man, you can't pretend like it's not doing it great. Like, it's actually trying. It says, let's tell a genuine, unique story. Let's enthrall you in the world and be damned about focusing on how the world actually works, because that's irrelevant. You know, you're supposed to be more focused on the story of Andy, you know, who she is, what her journey, what she's trying to fight for, you know. And I think that's just something I think that's just something more people need to be discussing about this, because I've been seeing some people hating on it, like even on my video talking, or my short talking about Invincible Fight Girl. Some people try to hate on it because it's anime, or it's taking too much influence from anime, and I'm just like, so, like, anime takes influence from other stuff too, so and the thing is, it understands those tropes of anime while adding its own uniqueness to it. That's the thing. Like, it feels like it's sort of like it's Awkwardly Animated said it in his video. It's a cartoon that feels like an anime. You know, that's just one of those things where it's just something. I'm glad we're finally getting more of this, and I'm hoping, I don't know, Warner Brothers is in a weird spot where maybe something like where this hopefully can get the support it needs. I'm hoping they stick to it and don't just kill it off, because God, it'd be annoying. Let's see, one thing about recent Disney discourse I've seen: every time a movie Disney releases not good / mid, every YouTuber immediately drops a vid the very second. Yeah, that's the problem too. It's like mid, anything that's just ass or mid, we gotta just let it die. It's like, let it die by its mediocrity. You know, it, like, the people will speak when they see it. I think about like, say, After Earth. You think about that movie, that M. Night Shyamalan shit with Will Smith and his son. Like, that movie, like, first day did really well, and then tanked by Sunday. Like, by Sunday, it was like, nope, that's a flop somehow. Like, the word got out that it was so ass, and people said, don't watch that shit. Don't bother. Don't waste your time. Like, so the people will speak on mediocrity when it's really bad. Okay, they don't need. I don't think you need to really make a video discussing the mediocrity of everything. Okay, if something's mid, let it be mid, and it'll fade away. We don't gotta make 1,000 videos talking about these things. You know, I think that's why it's like, I want to see more stuff like this, more stuff like Invincible Fight Girl, where it's something where there's variety. Because that's another big problem, is every studio is trying to make themselves have a distinct style to them, or yeah, every studio kind of is trying to have some type of distinction to their style, or some type of formulaic style, I should say, that's just distinct to them. And you think about, like, Disney, even with, say, Primos, it still feels like it's a little too Disneyified. The art style still feels a little too soft. The lines feel a little too precise, they're not letting a lot, it's not that you don't get a lot of artistic expression from the storyboard artists like we wish we could get there. You know what I mean? I wish and that's the thing, a lot of artists they tell you, it's like, yeah, we can make this move more fluidly and all that. It's not a matter of the equipment, it's just a matter of the higher ups tell them, hey, streamline it, just make it as long as it moves, put it on, make it a PNG and just slightly move it here and there, or put it on a rig and just slide it. Like, they get told to hold back for weird reasons. It's awful. What are your thoughts on Jentry Chau? Fucking amazing. If we can talk about some Jentry Chau, I'm gonna talk about some Jentry Chau. That was good. At first watching it, it felt like, oh man, this is like modern day American Dragon a little bit. I can admit that, but it made a proper name for itself. One, by making sure it's more of an adult, or at least older teens series, whereas American Dragon or even Juniper Lee, those were kids shows still through and through. Maybe a teen could watch it and have a little bit, be okay with it, but this one's like, no, this is for the teens. We want to get a bit more heavier into things. We want to put emphasis on the fact that people can die. Their death exists here. You know what I mean? But Jentry Chau, I think they understood the assignment really well. I really want, shout outs to Mackenzie, who worked on this series as well. She was if I'm right, the animatic editor, and her editing is amazing. You're seeing some of this stuff, seeing some of her work. Her editing was amazing in this. So this was I'm really glad Jentry Chau turned out to be so good. And my only thing is, though, I'm hoping they renew it for more. I'm hoping Netflix has some common sense, but I don't know. From what I've heard, they're opening a $900 million studio in Jersey. So, but I feel like a bunch of shows about to be put back on the chopping block. I don't know, but we're not here for that. Jentry Chau, I really enjoyed I enjoyed the teen drama aspect of it. Sometimes, because this has a love triangle to it, but it's done really well, where it's they know how to make sure all the characters are not totally unlikable, and they are working through some crazy stuff. Here, they make it clear it's her powers can be very destructive. She has fire powers that, if she is not careful, can burn people, kill people, but they make it clear that's the urgency, that is the story, and we're not trying to play it up as she's someone who just denies herself to be a superhero. It's genuinely a case of her childhood was robbed from her. These fire powers were not something she wanted, so she's stuck with them. They really play up the curse aspect. They don't just say this person got powers and then they kind of need to just get over it and learn their powers and just save the day. It's saying, no, this person's life got cheated, and you're seeing that whole thing play out. You're seeing the generational trauma between her and Gugu, her great aunt. It's genuinely powerful. They don't shy away from the dark harshness of her story, the things going on with her family. They're good twists. They are so good. And in fact, there's such good twists. I'm so mad this show did not get put on for weekly drops. I'm so mad that Netflix did not think maybe we should make this weekly. With the way episodes ended, almost every episode was basically ended with a cliffhanger. Almost every episode was a cliffhanger by the end. And it's man, it would have been so amazing to have that as the water cooler talk. That's that type, every week it just be yo, did you see the latest episode? That was crazy. It's Netflix is sort of trying, they got Arcane and they break that up, Yes, that's good there. But every other show, they still drop the fucking ball. Like, there's a reason why you see more streaming services try to adopt the cable models, because they realize, yeah, premium streaming doesn't work. It just can't work. How do you have a steady flow of income is without the ads? Ads always guaranteed more money versus just people pay a certain amount of money every month, especially with the projects they want to do. Like, Netflix be spending money. Netflix be spending a lot of money to make these movies and shows, and it's just like a subscription ain't about to help you. A subscription ain't about to handle that. Okay, it's just not. Like, so there's a reason why you're seeing some places move back to the cable model. Even Disney is going back to cable, because we can go to Stugo. This show Stugo they got. Oh, I don't even know why I left YouTube. Sorry, y'all, I'm crazy. Stugo. Like, even that is coming. The way they're doing this one, it's not gonna come out immediately to Disney Plus. They're putting it on it's coming to Disney Channel first. But yeah, it's gonna come to Disney Channel first, and then to Disney Plus, like, in spring. So at this point, it's like, I think they're finally learning that it's like, yeah, the streaming model was a fail. Only certain things can work with streaming, like Netflix and Hulu were probably where we probably needed to stop. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like that's where it needed to stop. Netflix to Hulu. And cable channels and cable just needed to put their stuff on streaming while running them on regular cable. You know, it needed to be it needed to just be a boost to on demand. You know, on demand was how things should have went. With just after an episode premiered, put it on demand, and people who didn't watch it when it premiered can watch it later. And it's always available if you're paying for cable or whatever. You don't have to pay like $1.99 for an episode that you missed, you know. But that model didn't want to catch on like that until apparently now, which, whatever. Better late than never, I guess. But I am rambling. But yeah, I'm interested. But I'll admit, I'm interested in Stugo, which is a weird way to transition to talk about this show. It's like these four, they're like prodigy children who get sent to this special island to like deal with like a bunch of crazy creatures and whatnot. It seems interesting. I like the style, but again, there is that thing where I don't know. I do like that they're trying to be a little bit different, where it's like, okay, the shows, it's just a matter of the shows look a little too clean. I think that's what Disney's thing is like. Again, it's like, let people break the models a bit. You know, let the storyboard artists like make something a little different, something you wouldn't expect, or do it the way they want to do it. Like, don't fully streamline it as much, because yeah, I think that holds a show back a lot more. When you get those weird frames to see it that you can catch sometimes, it's always like, oh, that's one way to draw a character and make it, feel natural, make it feel natural. Because I don't know, the biggest problem I think is that being able to pause in this day and age is kind of ruined animation and film in some cases, because people pause and then they say, man, why'd that frame look so bad? It's not supposed to look unique. It's not supposed to look that clean. It's in between. You're supposed to watch this in one motion, when you're supposed to watch it in theaters. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. While I hide beneath bodies from Marvel rivals. Bye, joy, y'all. Later. Story editor James Hamilton actually had a thread today about how much he loves how complicated the characters are because of the bad decisions they make, which makes for great drama. Yeah, for Jentry Chau, yeah, they really go all out with that. They do point out the fact that it's like, hey, We want to make sure these characters, they're very flawed. They will make a mistake, but they will try to fix it. Of course, they make it so it feels more realistic to the type of mistakes they make. It's like you got to think about, if you were in this situation, how would you handle this? Because again, her problem is all this stuff that is happening to her is not her choice. All of this is a case of, she made a mistake because she doesn't know what the hell to do about this. You wouldn't know what the hell to do about any of this. That's just something you do have to think about. I don't know. That's just, it's a well-written show. It's a really good show. Like, if you haven't watched Jentry Chau, check it out. Go check it out, please. After the stream. Why haven't added their live channels on their service, or at least an exclusive of yearly plan users? Shout out, my name is lonely. I don't know. I think adding like more live channels to streaming services. Again, it comes down to how do you pay for it. I mean, subscription. I think the subscription model could help, but you still need to have ads, which most people would be like, "Yo, what am I paying this for if it's still gonna have ads?" There's a reason why people were okay with Hulu being free back in the day, because it's like, I mean, okay, it's free, but I get why it's free. You need the ads. Ads paid for it. But I think it has to do with keeping cable providers happy. That's also a big possibility. Kior, you are much kinder than me, man. Shout out to Kior. If I'm pronouncing that name, sorry. I have a lot of feelings about it, especially from an Asian rep side. I haven't really heard any of the scrutiny against it, or any like major criticisms about it. I don't know. I haven't had much. Yeah, I guess the one scrutiny I have is episode 11 felt a little rushed, because it's like certain spoiler things happen that's like, okay, that felt like we needed to marinate on some things there, or we need to learn a bit of the in-between here and there. I don't know. Also, chat, what do y'all think about the music playing? I thought about, like, with the streams, it always sounded a little bit dead. If it's a little too loud, let me know. But yeah, just thought it'd be nice to have just some like nice music playing in the back versus just being all silent. Thankfully, it's royalty free. Yeah, just looked at this one playlist that just was out. Don't know if it'll repeat. I don't know. Oh, not like Pluto TV, like their own channels, like Disney Channel. What do you mean, like? Or Turner channels, like Warner? What do you mean exactly? Then. But I am hoping for Jentry Chau to pull through. Like, I'm hoping they get another season. It was really good. The channels they own. Oh, you mean like, okay, I think I get it. Like, you mean, say for HBO Max, since that's Warner, whatever, like they put, say, Cartoon Network on there as a channel. Like something like that, or you're saying in this case HBO channels they put that on the streaming service. That's when you mean like you're saying Disney should try to do something like that, even. Give a minute to spawn. Hmm. Wait, look. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah. Hmm. I mean, yeah, it is kind of weird. I mean, Disney sort of did do something like that, but the thing is, they just put the individual shows. So, but yeah, putting more of their live channels on their streaming services probably would have been better for them. But again, it I think as a streaming service, that probably will start weighing on them because it's like it still costs too much, and you probably eventually might have to you might. I don't know. I think there's potential for that, but I don't know. A lot of it really comes down to where's the money. Where does the money come from? You know. Hmm. Uh, let's see. Man, legit question. Not trying to like incite or spark an incident. Oh my god. Where do you think the line is between supporting other people of color work for solidarity to get more of us in the room versus praising a show that's more mid but is helmed by, well, that's the problem, is what people consider mid, it is ultimately subjective. I can admit that. Like, that's the big thing. Quality. What the? Is your account's being used in another? What the hell? Y'all saw that message too, right? Is YouTube just stroking out a bit? Because I was like being used in another location. That's a. Cause that's different. But to get back to your question, I get. Let's see. Supporting other people of colors works for solidarity to get more of us in the room versus praising a show that's more mid but is helmed by a person of color creator. I mean, I don't know. It, like I said, depending on how like I said, I haven't heard the scrutiny against Jentry Chau specifically. So if there is some case of misrepresentation, I mean, I'm happy to hear it out. I just haven't heard it. You know, I've been kind of trying to make sure my social circles stay tight, a bit more tight knit. I haven't really been watching as many reviews of other of these shows as much. I mostly try to stick to my own personal opinion about it because I don't want it to be too influenced by what others' opinions have been. Like I watched this before anybody else. Like I finished it before. Not talking about misrepresentation, just talking about qualitative. Qualitative wise, I don't know. That again, that's where it becomes the question of where is the dip in quality? Because where one person could find is where people say, where one side says this is lacking quality, the other says this has good quality. It becomes a question of what do we specifically mean? What are we exactly measuring in particular about it? I don't know. I feel like the story was well told. I don't. Because when people create something that's mid, we want to support them, but it doesn't sit right with me because, like, I'll find it mid. I mean, support doesn't have to come down to. That's the thing. I think we also need to rethink support. Support doesn't always have to be like you need to like it. It's just, even if you find it mid is very subjective. Ultimately, it does mean mediocre. But so it does come down to, if you do find it mid, like say you give it the 3-episode test and you're just bowing out, no one can blame you. It failed on its, at that point it just didn't grab you. I can't, but if everybody else but if most people are able to watch it and they're able to keep through, it just means it just wasn't your cup of tea. It doesn't mean you have to keep supporting it, but you could be happy that it's like, hey, at least it's giving some representation, for a group that either you're a part of or you're not a part of, either or. it's just something where it's like your support you can just, you give it a chance, but maybe you back out after that because it's just not your thing. It's fine. Like, because I would never want to tell people, keep watching this show even though you don't like it. If you don't like it, it's fine. Like, back out, move on. It's okay. No harm. But I do think I think there's just more to say. I think it's just sometimes it can work better when it's like, sorry, I'm trying to get most of my thoughts together on this. I think it's just one of those things where it's better if we have a mix, a variety of different shows of mixing qualities, because then it's more a case of, are these things just doing good on their own merits? Because that's how I judge, based on what are you going for and how do you accomplish that? If you do that well, great. If you don't, if you ignore what you were trying to do, then or you completely forget or mess it up, sorry. But I know taste is suggested. Just, I don't know, find people praising it almost like PR face rather than it earning its own merits. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't think it's people trying to support it only on the merit of wanting it to succeed. I do want it to succeed on the basis of I like it. I genuinely really enjoy the show and I want more of it. That's what I think most people moving and doing a lot of things nowadays are advocating more for, is saying, I want to get more of this, because I really enjoy it, I think that's just something to keep in mind with Jentry, with a lot of shows in general, is that sometimes the praise can feel like it's just hype for the sake of hype, but that means it would phase out faster. By that point, it's like, but again, we're dealing with Netflix where they actively phase things out and don't give it a chance. So it's one of those, it's rough, like like I said, many people, a lot of the praise I think is genuine for Jentry Chau, because watching it myself, I really enjoy it. I think it really works. It's a great show. It adds good drama. The characters are enjoyable. The story is engaging. But I mean, if it's not your cup of tea, I think the best thing there comes down to, it's just not your cup of tea. You don't want to talk about it too much because it's just not something worth talking about. I don't know. I feel like that's where it should be. It's just like, we do want to praise these shows because we want to see more of them, more than just we're praising it only for the sake of the representation. Because I think representation is important, but it's also key to make sure we're also putting good stuff forward, that we're also pushing for just more variety. That's the other thing, because we can't do total gatekeeping where it's only what we genuinely feel is the best, because we don't really know what the best looks like from an objective standpoint. You know what I mean? It's just, but don't get me wrong, there's not to say there shouldn't be some level of gatekeeping. Like, there should be some where it's like, bro, if you're making some bull crap, this is some bull crap from the idea. I don't know. Inspired from Neza from Journey to the West. Oh, didn't know that. Netflix better not cancel Blue-Eyed Samurai. It won an Emmy. I know, right? I haven't finished that show. I only watched the first episode. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna be honest, and that was another topic I really wanted to bring up about things, is Netflix is on some hoe shit, and I really don't like their model. They have been perpetuating this sort of YouTubeification of movies and shows, where it's always push this out as right away and just don't give it as much promotion or anything. Like with a regular YouTube video, someone would just post a video and be like, hey, new video, and that's it. They have kind of turned that model. They've used that model for their shows, I feel. And that model is sadly starting to bite everyone in the ass, because they all thought, yeah, that's how it should work, right? It works. It's the binge model. And it's like, you're now learning why it doesn't work. Because what happens? Everyone watches it within one setting, and then they'll talk about it, lasts for about 1 or 2 weeks, then everyone moves on. And a TV show is not supposed to have that. A TV show should be able to invoke the mind for longer after an episode premieres. You know, it should invoke, like, 1 week, that goes to one episode, and everyone talking about, yo, did you see that new episode? That was crazy. Now, the one, it's hard to call it silver lining, is the fact that what people would deem, what the idiot weebs would deem filler, like that, those started to get cut down. Like, episodes weren't ordered as much, but they still have this but the problem is now you're just getting shorter seasons, like significantly shorter seasons. Now we're stuck to usually 10 episodes. I was so happy that Jentry Chau was 13, thankfully, and it told the story well enough within that 13. That was actually good. You know, a 13 episode season you can have a good beginning and a middle and an end. 10 episodes, you can, but you really got to scrunch your story a bit. You got to condense, which, again, it's not bad. It can work for some, but like I said, weebs ruined everything after stuff like Steven Universe. Like, everyone kept complaining about filler this, filler that, and it's like, there was more shows. You got more show out of it. You got more episodes. They would order like 26 episodes for a season, but now it's like 10 episodes, and then they cancel it after like one episode, after like one season, and sometimes split it, or they'll order about 20 episodes, cancel it, and then try to say, yeah, and then split it up and act like it's multiple seasons when it's like, this is all one season. They just pretend like it's a new one. Plus, they've just been greenlighting too many shows. Basically, 2 to 5 shows premieres a day. That's the biggest problem with streaming. Too many shows. Like, again, YouTube, it works because they're just single videos, you know? But with Netflix, it's like, you're packaging multiple episodes, guys. That can't be taken in all at once so often. Like, oi, I think that's why so many people enjoy just watching cable at this point, because it's just like, yeah, it goes by a lot better. You get an episode a week, you get to let it marinate with you, rewatch it if you want to refresh, and then you're ready for the next episode, and then y'all talk about it. Like, there's no discussion like there used to be. Like, you think about X-Men 97, amazing. They understood the model. Yeah, weekly drops. You need weekly drops. Even, I used to even be against the weekly drop. I used to even say with weekly drops, it like the binge model. I used to say the binge model worked best for like comedy shows, because it's like, oh yeah, you could just binge all that in once, and it's like, don't do that. Binging a whole comedy show, it can be tiring. It will tire you out, because a lot of them are very formulaic for a reason. They're on a budget. They can't keep making new sets every day, or they can't keep making so many new backgrounds and all this every episode, because then you get tired. It's gonna burn out. The artist will be burnt out. That's not fair to them. So it's just one of those things where I used to think the binge model worked for comedy shows, and that's how you make it, and only use it, and you do weeklies for and you just do the weekly drops for like dramas and actions and such. And it's like, just keep it the old way. Like, the binge model, it can work, I think, for a mini series. I feel sometimes, you know, if it's like, nah, that's a smooth run through, like you can watch that and it feels like a movie, then it's understandable. But sometimes it really is better that it's like, this should premiere weekly, so, you know, to keep the interest high. That's how I feel. Yeah, they couldn't do a Moon Girl. I'm so mad Moon Girl didn't get a weekly drop. Moon Girl, and they canceled that. Disney even canceled that. So, it's rough. It's really rough. Like, I was really rooting for Moon Girl. Everyone thought Moon Girl had it. Like, that was theirs to take it. But it's like, nope, it's too good. Disney hates good things. ugh, it was such a good show, and they're just like, and even still, banned an episode. Even they banned the transgender episode that was really good. It was a really good episode. Like, the world needed it, and they're like, nope. That's why it leaked. It's like, that's what y'all get. It's still remember Disney Plus launch. People were bitching because they only have 6 to 7 original shows on day one, even though Netflix had a 6-year head start. I know it's like Flying Bark is so cursed as a studio. Flying Bark is so awesome, man. They're so awesome. Ugh, they're so awesome, and they do not get their flowers like they deserve. They should have been like every show they've touched should be past 5 seasons. Every show that they've ever done, it should have been like that had 5 seasons. Even if you had stopped there, it's like that had a good run. I don't care. Like they at least got what they could with that. Okay, but no, every freaking time with Flying Bark, it's like 1 season or 2 at best, and it's like. It sucks. It sucks so much. Ugh. He's like, didn't they ban it because of something related to the election? The transgender episode, it's because these dumbass, they want to appease the dumbass Trump supporters who, at the end of the day, we're probably not going to watch anyway. They've made it clear. These are grown adults who've already checked out. That you don't need to be bothering trying to appeal to them anyway. Kids will watch it regardless, because who cares? Kids, like, that's why it's like some people hate on the idea of children being raised on television. I think it's only if they're raised on really bad television. You know, we used to have like laws, I think, that made sure television, that there were proper rules and regulations to what could be aired on broadcasting, but a lot of like the Republicans like wrecked house on that. So, a lot of time, but even still, there's some even still, it's like Disney choosing to censor themselves just because they think, hey, we need to appeal. Hey, those right-wingers might get in a tizzy about it. But here's the thing. The whole anti-woke stuff is long since died out, or at the very least it's in its process, I should say, not long since. It's very much in a good process of dying out because people are realizing, dude, you guys complain about nothing. They complain about nothing, dude. Like, everything it's just woke. If, like, even Jentry Chau, woke. Because Asian and female. Or, this kid, she has a black character. There's a black character who's a love interest. Oh my god. It's even more woke. They're talking about race mixing now. And even then, it's stupid too, because actually they wouldn't care because it's like, it's an Asian person and a black person. Their whole stupid thing is like, it's not poisoning the white purity or some crap. I don't know, it's stupid. Ugh, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of it is is it dying though? It feels like every major company and platform is trying their damnedest to encourage it again, or is at least bending it over. Here's what's happening. The machine, the system itself is trying to push it as more and get more engagement about this overly anti-woke crap, but it's not working for many people because they're taking note of the script. They're noticing, the formula is if there is a minority in it, it's woke, which means it's bad because it has a minority in it. People are starting to connect the dots to that, I feel. And that's why people got mad. People are starting to get mad at stuff like Ben Shapiro's and such, because they're noticing it's like, y'all aren't really in touch with anything. Y'all are out of touch with all of this stuff. Y'all are talking about shit that nobody should really care about in their films or movies. Like, back in the day, you could be a bit... Now, not to say back in the day was perfect, by all means, with representation. We're in a much better spot now. But back in the day, there were cases where you could get some representation off, but sadly, you couldn't be outspoken about it. Nowadays, you thankfully can be outspoken about it and actually say what the fuck needs to be said. I think it's here to stay, but no one wants to engage with them. I think it's more of... I think that's somewhat of a fair assessment, but I think it's gonna fade back into its it's gonna fade back to the darkness. It's always been there. It's just it changes its form every time because it like this whole right wing alt right crap. It's been around for years, for a long time, even before Nazism. Like it's been around, but it's one of those, it morphs. It likes to morph every new generation because they know it's like, yeah, we stay like this, we sink people, because these, I don't know, like this whole anti-woke stuff, people are tired. They're like, you guys are not engaging with the actual media anymore. You're not talking about what is good or bad about this. You're not talking about the actual production that went into this. You're not talking about the human effort that was put into this film or movie. You're just bitching about the fact that minorities are there. You're just a bigot. You're a racist. You're a homophobe. You're a xenophobe. You're an asshole. You suck. And you haven't accepted that you just suck. You know? That's just how I see it. But maybe I should stream on Sundays more often. I get to I just ramble about nothing when there's just a chill Sunday. I've never seen such consistent entitlement. That's white supremacy, dude. It's one of those things where it's like, what? It's kind of a thing. I mean, I'm kind of getting a little deep here into some deep shit, but you can look up certain YouTubers who'll probably give you the good 411 on it. But like, say Lil Bill, like go to Lil Bill's channel. He'll definitely talk to you. He'll talk to you about some stuff. But like white supremacy, it really is one of those things where it takes away culture. It's all about the degradation of culture with white supremacy. Trying to say, oh yeah, you're white, you belong with us. Like, I mean, your skin tone is just like us, you belong here. It erases, being Irish. It erases being British. It erases being Scottish. It erases being Polish from Sweden. It erases that actual uniqueness, that ethnicity of you. And that's why, like, you see people of with melanin fight against it because they're like, yo, that ain't right. That ain't right. You're just wiping out like their culture like that to fit some weird superiority narrative. What the fuck? And it usually backfires on the minorities they push that onto, because it's like, yeah, you think they really care about you? Think they care about you? No. It really comes down to, it's the rich, stupid. The rich will always push this whole white supremacist crap onto us and make us fight about race for no reason. We don't need to be. We're not supposed to be thinking about these things, but they want people to think about it, so it's like, oh, everyone should get upset at a group that didn't affect you, that didn't do anything. Manufactured issues. It's manufactured issues. It's telling you have a problem with that black person. You have a problem with that trans person. You have a problem with those Asians, with those Hispanics, with those gay people, with those drags. You have all the problems with everybody else, because even though these people have not done anything to you. That's white supremacy. Ugh. Boy almighty, I know y'all came onto the stream and we're not expecting that type of talk. I don't know. When I'm alone, I want to just say some shit. To be honest, it's just kind of a thing of, I don't know, moving into the next year. I'm kind of, with the way the election went, I guess I'm just saying, I think we need to just stop being nice all the time. I'm trying to stop holding my tongue all the time. I'm trying to call out some bullshit where it needs to be fucking said. I'm not trying to keep kowtowing to think, oh, will this offend? It's like, if it needs to be said and it actually makes sense and the people stand behind it, that's all you need to know. If it speaks to what the minority is having a problem with, then, hey, I'm gonna say it. As everyone is now saying, do not obey in advance. I know someone asked me about the recent CEO assassination. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. It's just indicative of a problem with the system. People are tired of having to pay these deductibles, having to do co-pays, having to pay into this pot that does not fully pay for your medical care. When you break your leg, it's like, oh, we'll cover half of it. You just get a discount. That's all you got. That's what health insurance is. It's just a discount. You're just getting a glorified discount that you paid into. You paid into that discount. That's what you got. That's what fucking healthcare is in this country. Every other country laughs at us for that shit for a reason. Because that shouldn't exist. That shouldn't be a thing. There shouldn't be no such thing as a fucking health insurer. It's like, wait, that's all about profit. How do you, like, of course they're gonna deny people's claims because their thing is, we gotta make money. We have to make money. And that's that problem. And that's just how it is, man. So some people are like, enough's a fucking enough. I'll admit, take this with truckloads of salt. This is a rumor. I will admit that up front. But I hear Luigi, the guy, I heard there was something where, I know he's a trust fund baby type dude. He came from a rich family, but I hear like his mom might have been on United and she ended up getting denied a claim and she passed. Again, rumor. Don't know if that's true, but it's like, if true, then it's like open and shut. You know what the motivation was. You don't need to, there's no questions to be asked. And at that point, you got to ask why. At that point, it's like, what are we doing? What is that? It's saying that, but I know it's not. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I got 2 pages up. I'm willing to bet it's like, well, you're trying to play 2 videos back to. Oh, actually, I don't know if that's it. There we go. Weird. Yeah, I think it might have been because of the video. Ooh, no, wait, never mind. Skip. I'm hoping this ain't. Hoping that's fine. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. That, like, there's a reason people are not having. People are starting to become more class conscious, I feel, with the death of this CEO, with the assassination of the CEO. More people are starting to realize it ain't a left thing, it ain't a right thing. It's class. It's a class problem. It's the rich, stupid. The fact that they get to dictate how things are, and they get all the money, they pocket all the money. The fact that they became billions of dollars richer after Trump won again. That already should have set off some alarms in y'all head. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, what the fuck is up? The fact that Trump is putting in all his cronies, all his rich cronies, his rich friends into these positions of power like he did before, but even worse now. Like, we're not in good standing, people. Like, the rich, these next 4 years, it's going to exacerbate the problem with the rich being in charge of things. I think this is going to be the biggest case of the people are going to understand it. There is no middle class anymore. It is working class versus the rich. Okay. It's always been class. Everything else is just window dressing. Pretty much. Race plays a factor. It's always important to these things because, sadly, we are different. But that's the thing. We're supposed to recognize our differences and celebrate our differences and recognize what makes us similar. I'm supposed to look at another person of a different skin complexion and know, you look different from me. But that does not make you worse. That does not make you better than me. It doesn't make you worse than me. You just look different from me. You know, who you are, your actions, what you take, the actions you take. That's where we determine where we go from there. I'm getting messages, huh? Let me make it. Sorry, y'all. Gotta make an order. There we go. Sorry, y'all. Oh, man. I don't know. Y'all care for me talking politics like that? Part of me feels like, because I've been hearing, like, that's been the thing I've seen from some people, more proper, independent, left outlets and such, that it's like, where we gotta go from here is we need to start talking pop culture stuff, but also sneaking in our politics, you know, not just only speaking about our favorite shows and movies, but excuse me, sorry, but actually throw in what we really believe in. For one, politics is politics. Politics is literally the science of dealing with each other. It can't be avoided. Don't let some jackasses tell you, no, I can't believe you involve politics. Everything is fucking politics, okay? Everything is fucking politics. Okay? The TV shows you watch, the fucking the car you drive, the clothes you wear, the shoes you lace up. It has some politics to it. Think about that, motherfucker. Think about that. Like, come on. Man, politics is ingrained in art. Everything is political. To not engage with it would be being hilariously ignorant. Exactly. That's what being woke is saying. Being aware of your shit. We taking back woke. I'm woke, motherfucker. I'm aware of what's going down. I'm aware that the rich is fucking over people. I'm aware that our healthcare system is a trash pile. I'm aware that our infrastructure is crumbling. Okay? I'm woke. Are you? You sleep? Are you sleep, motherfucker? Like, let's take this shit back. I'm tired of these alt-right jackasses and Nazis taking over shit and ruining it. Okay, like black folk invented woke, and then it got ruined. Like, come on now. You can have political views, but don't force it. Yeah, that's another thing. It is a case of this is one thing where I will come down on the left a little bit, where it's like, hey. When talking politics, you do not recognize your enemies. There's the alt-right Nazis who are very much going to fight you. And there are people who are genuinely looking for a conversation. They genuinely just want to talk. And you got to recognize this is just a person. They're not in charge of anything. They work at a fucking simple 9-to-5 minimum wage job. You know, or something like that. They ain't in charge of nothing. They can't control nothing. We conversing. You know, don't fly off the handle when talking politics, because when talking politics with very sensible people, okay? I want to make that clear. I just think that's just the one thing the left really needs to learn. It's like, we got to get back to talking to people proper, okay? We do need to recognize the Nazis and kick them the fuck up out of here, okay? Block them, move on. Don't do any more of this bullshit. Oh, I'm going to quote tweet them. I'm going to put it up on. I'm going to do this. I'm like, we don't need to talk. We don't need to dunk on nobody no more. Okay. If somebody's on some horse shit, block, put the word out that they need to be blocked and move on. Report them if you have to. You can report them, but don't share the dunk on them like that. Like plain and simple, okay? Like, we block and move on. Get it back to that. Oh, yeah. I honestly want the fact companies and governments are getting increasingly masked off about all this is only gonna expedite their destruction in the public eye. Yeah. Fascism can't last. It really cannot last for long. There's always those stories that have fascist regimes in them, but they change it more. But they say, yeah, it's been hundreds of years being ruled under this. It's like in this day and age, we're not gonna get to hundreds of years, but we're gonna get. But there's some bullshit. It's gonna take. It's gonna take them. It's gonna be a fight. It's like, just be ready for it. Talk to your neighbors, build some type of neighborly relationships there. Go to your community centers, participate, go vote on like any local offices, because that's the other thing. A lot of major things, say say single payer healthcare and such, y'all might be able to get that locally, or a public option even. I think some places are able to have that. It's possible, but it genuinely is participate, go to your even moving into 2025. I'm gonna try to be more I'm gonna try to participate in the community a little more. I want to try to participate and be a part of this thing. Maybe show at some town halls so I can act. So it's So it's because you got to be in the know of what's going on in your community more than what's going on in the rest of the country. Because a lot of it starts from home. So, but enough rambling and talking shit. We're talking Amazing Digital Circus. That's good. I like the new episode. It was really good. I do not know what is wrong. Yeah, I like the new episode. I thought it was good that they gave Gangle a good spotlight, and she needs to be protected. This poor girl, poor Gangle, man. Oh my god, skip wrong. Poor Gangle is just she's just literally trying to do her best, and everyone's just coming down on her. It genuinely sucks. There we go. Okay, come on, y'all. I'm trying to get a good. There we go. Whatever. But she's put in charge of this place, and nobody respects her. And the fact that some people even say some Jax and Ragatha. I know Ragatha was drunk, but said some stuff you're kind of more annoying. I kind of liked you better when you're sad. And it's that's so awful. What's her name? Gooble or Zooble or so. I like that she, was, or they. I'm not sure. Y'all can correct me in the chat. I'm glad they helped Gangle out and actually is there for her and talking to her and such. Hope Gangle's 30 something, because the mental meme of 38-year-old baby girl is funny to me. That would be. Zooble is they them. Okay, yeah, Zooble is they them. Thank you. I'm glad Zooble was there for Gangle and actually treating her well and such and trying to be there, and actually be the one friend that's hey, I get it, it all sucks. And I'm glad they even point out, it's yeah, Ragatha's trying, but it can feel like Ragatha's trying to do the right thing out of obligation rather than because it's actually because you're interested in that person, I'm not gonna fake though. This design of Gangle is so stupid. Got her in this fucking she looks like she drives a mid-sized sedan. Come on, man. She looks like she goes home to a bunch of kids jumping off the walls and shit, and she's just so exhausted. Kind of looking like such a straight up manager, man. I love how the final scene is just showing how even so much as holding out your hand to a friend in need can matter. Yeah, that's what it is that really is nice. That at the end of the day, there's people who care. Seeing that someone cares is always important, versus just sitting from a distance or anything like that, or just simply checking in every once in a while. Like Zooble cares, and that's always and it's nice that Gangle has someone like that. 30 isn't really old. Yeah, I know, right? that we were talking about this too. I think we said this on one of Tariq's latest stream. It's like people keep trying to say 30 is old, and it's like it ain't that old, nigga. Damn. Like even doctors are like, bro, we don't really need you coming in for a yearly checkup when you're 30. Like, they will tell you this. It's like you only need to do this when you're 35. You know, like, come on. It's just like people be trying to some people be calling people under 30 unk, and it's like hell, I was called unk. This nigga Chillix, y'all. Like, it really is one of those things where it's like, I don't know. It's just like to be called unk at 30. Like, at 30, it makes a little more sense. But at 20? Oh, like, no one in their 20s should be called no unk. Okay, y'all are off. Y'all are way off there, bro. I don't even know. Like that story by that philosopher. There's a real sense of like adult isolation. Everyone is basically isolated. Like, we're all stuck here by circumstance. Not because we like each other. Yeah, that can be a big problem. It's like, it feels like people are only together simply because this is just the way it is. There's kind of a reason why you see so many people moving out of cities. Like, I've been watching this channel, Adam something. He has great videos, but he does a lot of great videos that talk about like infrastructure and how the car economy has ruined our entire infrastructure in America. Because, you know, everything's way too spaced out. Businesses are put way further away from like actual neighborhoods. So people who would rather walk, it's now you're forced to either get on a bus or get a car. Usually it's get a car. And with cars, they create that means parking lots, which is all these big open spaces that could be used for more businesses, for even housing as well. But nope, we gotta make way for these little cars that just sit there. That's it. The cars just are there to sit there while you're shopping, and I don't know. I'm moving out of my current place and moving to LA next year. You brave. You brave. I don't know, with the way the homeless problem is in LA and the way all the horror stories of people who go there and the way Hollywood's been acting a fool, I don't know. I mean, if there are opportunities, great. Like, if you actually got something set up already going in, good. You know, about to make the best personal and worst financial decision in my life. Ooh, I'm hoping it's the best. I'm hoping for the best for you, bro. Because I don't know. Like, I had dreams of Cali, but I'm very much I think I'd be okay just visiting. Maybe staying temporarily, but not. I don't want to live there. Like, I visited, to visit like Brie Animator and such, and Ostra Vox and, friends. It's fun. It's nice. I admit, in certain areas, we were like in the Valley area where a lot of the studios are. Like, say your Nick Studios and Warner Brothers and such. Like, it's actually a pretty nice area that you could walk around in. But, like I said, it's like, I wouldn't want to live there because, one, I need seasons. Bro. I cannot stress. Sorry, y'all. Y'all getting my life story in my phone from my phone. I cannot stand just plain heat all year long. That's why, like, even I hated this recent November and October. It was too warm for me, particularly in October. It was way too warm for me, and September. I'm like, we in fall and it feels like summer. It felt like summer. I was sweating. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing here, man? Why are people doubting climate change? Ugh. I tell y'all now, I was hurt. Like, I was like, oh my God, I get seasonal depression. I understand it now. This sucks. I know there's more to seasonal depression by all means. I'm just making a joke, but still. Ooh. Oh yeah, shout out to Pedanticat. Yeah, people will say global warming isn't real for some reason. Stupid people will say that. I don't know. That was a big takeaway from this election, is that a lot of people who voted were very much on the uneducated side. And it's like, damn. And stupid people. Stupid people done fucked up the world. Like, we gotta get these niggas some books. They gotta be reading, bro. Gotta get these people to read. Like, the average reading level is 8th grade. Like, the average fucking reading level, dude. Dude, like, seriously, I watched, like, the Black Hokage, and he always brings his... Like, look at this. 7th to 8th grade level. That is our average reading level. That is not good. And this means that most people can understand and use language at the level expected of students. But in some cases, it's like... But in some cases, it's like they understand, they can read it, they can comprehend a little bit. But in some cases, when it starts getting a little more complex, they're really not going to comprehend. There's a reason why you get so many people who, when you show them charts... They don't know what the fuck they're looking at, you know? They're like, I think there's something there. I think that means something, but I don't know. There's a reason why you got to be careful with saying like 1 in every so-and-so's, or just using statistics here and there for a lot of people, because they literally were never taught statistics. They don't know statistics. AI. Man, isn't there some shit to talk about that? The one thing I do feel AI, because sadly, I mean, far be it from me to speak on like stuff going on with the Animation Guild and their contracts. It seems like I don't know how they're voting on that, but it seems like their new contract that they got right now, it very much is leaving a lot of leeway for AI, and that sucks. But I want to say potentially, I mean, I'm not an economist, I'm not a fortune teller, I'm just a guy on a YouTube with a mic, okay? But part of me feels like the AI is going to have a boom. It's going to bust, because at the end of the day, they keep reporting that it's like the output for AI is still not matching all the input going into it. You know, the money, like so much money and resources is being put into AI, and it's not, and the money is sadly not matching. It costs too much to have this stuff and to keep it and to maintain it, and they're not making their money back. And so eventually they're gonna have to pull the plug, because it's like, this is just a money sink. We're sinking money into nothing and getting nothing out of it. It's not even making people's lives easier. Gen AI definitely ain't doing anything for regular folk. Like, regular artists are like, this shit sucks. It's not making the job easier. It's just complicating things for no reason. Taking a bit of control, that control away from the actual artists, the animators who make this stuff too. Like, so I feel like eventually it's gonna go the way of the NFTs and start bombing out. Like, right now, sadly the stupid ass but the stock market is based around hype right now, and it feels like AI got a big boom after the election, because now you can put in more tech bros and AI bros to let them fuck things up. But again, the money is not helping right there. The main concerns for the contract was AI and hiring minimums. For reference, AI companies recently made some noise about making $10 billion, but not saying it previously costed $200 billion over the past several years. Ooh. Oh, is that? Oh, that's real bad. Stocks and bonds. Hey, shout out to Onigiri. But I ain't know that. We'll be fine. Whoever becomes president will fight this no matter what. We will be okay. We'll fight. I'll say that. Stocks and bonds off vibes. Shout out to Othelius. Yeah. I'm just waiting for everyone who's quit OpenAI to just provide the big expose piece that'll destroy them forever. I don't know if it'll be an expose piece. I think it'll just potentially, it might be an economy crash. Ugh, that's the other thing. Could be a genuine crash that just completely knocks us off, because it's like, nobody needed this shit. Nobody needs AI. Basic functions for AI, literally regular folk can just do. Like, they're trying to put AI into cars, but it's like, dude, a human driver will always be better than a machine. I don't care what anyone tells you. Because the problem with trying to think a human can create a perfect system is failing to remember humans are imperfect, so how the fuck are they supposed to make a perfect anything? They can't. We cannot produce perfect because we aren't perfect. Whatever we produce is going to be very flawed. It's always going to be flawed. Even our own kids don't come out perfect. They come out flawed. You know? That just tells you we can't. So the idea that we're going to make this perfect system is like, no, you're not. The fact that you think you're going to make this robot or this machine learn everything and understand how to do basic shit, no, you're not. Get that right out of your fucking head, okay? What the hell? Incest AI machine was not on my bingo card. I mean, do you mean because AI is going to be copying off of each other in that sense? I mean, I could get that, yeah. Because that is going to be a problem too. AI is going to be regurgitating itself and giving out, it's going to be giving out the vomit of vomit. Ain't that something? Shit, thanks for the shout out, man. Appreciate it, though. If we're talking AI, I read that a whistleblower who worked at OpenAI was found dead of suspected suicide, and we can all agree that they killed him. I ain't hear about that, but oof. Oh, shit. I mean, between Boeing killing murking motherfuckers for blowing the whistle on them, too, like, it's not unheard of, dude. It's about, like I said, this shit moving into 2025 is about to be the rich versus the working class, and we're about to see some real shit. Like, I don't know. I don't think this CEO assassination is about to stop just here. I could see. Oh, what the? Oh. I thought someone had joined the chat. Like, I thought someone had joined the voice chat stream and low-key started whispering in my ear. I'm like, what the hell? It's just someone in here. It's a 19-minute. Oh, my God. But yeah, I don't know. AI, the biggest case against it is the fact that it's like, it's adding a problem and trying to sell a solution and trying to be the solution to the problem it created. Like, it's trying to say, wouldn't it be more convenient if this AI assistant pulled stuff for you or made stuff for you? It's like, not really. Wouldn't it be great if the AI can make the art you wanted? No, because then you're not gaining anything. Like, I've tried to learn, like, I genuinely have been trying to learn drawing because of this AI shit, just to fight this shit. I'm turning 30 and I'll admit I am getting older, and it does feel like I should be trying to continue to grow more as a person versus just thinking, yeah, AI is going to take over everything. Like, if I have to like, like, I hear, like, how new models of stuff even is made. Like, cars, they got rid of the dashboard and they put all those dials and such over on the touchscreen. Like, I feel like technology keeps trying to move faster and faster, and I'm just like, y'all are not trying to move technology in a way that's just there to help humans anymore. Y'all are trying to replace the humans, and I don't like that. I don't like that shit. Ugh. So, that's why I've been trying to learn more drawing, because I'm like, I love it. I love animation, obviously. I really enjoy unique designs. So, that's why I was just like, let me try to learn this, because I think it'd be much better than ever having to rely on an AI. I don't want to rely on AI to do this work for me. I would never want AI to help me to edit. I wouldn't want AI to help me make my videos, because I'm just like, this is mine. I created this with my hands, and I wrote this. I want to edit it myself. I mean, don't get me wrong. Paying somebody else to do it for you, if I had the money, sure. But otherwise, even still, that'd be because I want a human to do it and see what they produce from it. You know, what unique spin they put to it. I wouldn't want the AI to do it, because I'm like, doesn't feel special. Watch Pantheon. I gotta give that a watch. It's on Netflix now. I'm gonna watch it soon. Ugh, where's the AI that does my taxes and finds me a doctor or helps find jobs? That's the AI people would want. Assistant, actual assistant, reference pulling AI, which in general is not real AI. You can make that an algorithm. You really could just boost algorithms that just say, hey, are you looking for this thing? It's like, click that and like, here you go. Something. That would be helpful. You know, stuff to put, like, say you're drawing, like that, like AI and drawing would be like, good AI and drawing would be this. You're right, you're drawing, and because I've seen this on Blue Sky and other social media, you're drawing, you're making your picture, and you want a or maybe you're about to start drawing and you need a reference. You're like, give me a reference of a that karate crane pose, whatever. Just need a notable, and it pulls whatever, and it pulls references from like Karate Kid, people doing the crane pose. It just pulls all these different references for you. That it's simple as that. That's the AI. That's fine. No one can get mad at that because it's like, okay, it still allows the human to make the work, to make the art. Ugh, you know what I mean? Guess I do want to take a real quick break. For anybody who hasn't signed up for Patreon for $1, y'all get exclusive videos. So, right now I got two movie thoughts and one simple thoughts who are exclusively on Patreon. So, you can head over to the page. If you head over to the page in the description, y'all can go check these videos out. I also got an exclusive React watch where, if this thing wants to be fast, oh my god, where me and Tariq watched Craig and the kids table. We did a whole react watching of it. It was fun. It's real fun. Again, you get this for just $1. Y'all can go over to my page and watch these right now. I'll put a link in the chat just for y'all. Okay, just make this for you. Oh man. There we go. Sorry. But yeah, what are we doing? If you want AI-based society needs to change. Like, students be using AI to cheat constantly. Jobs are being done extremely poorly, so something's got to give. It's gonna give. The quality is going to keep speaking to people and saying, "Yo, what are we paying for?" Like, people are going to be asking the question, "What the fuck am I paying for with this shitty quality? Give me a human." Like, it already happens with people not liking the machines when just calling into a call center. People want to talk to humans. You know, it's like, stop doing all this rigmarole shit. Just get me in front of a human who knows how to interpret. Like, because AI, it really cannot interpret language well, especially not the English language. We got to be real. The English language is very, very imperfect with many flaws to it. So AI trying to interpret people who speak it in their own way, it's going to fail. It's never going to properly learn like it should. It's always going to have the bastardization version of it versus how most others would actually speak. It feels rough. Not great. Keep AI the fuck out of hip hop. Easily keep it out. That's big time one of the major major genres of music you never let AI touch. Because it's like people get on you for having a ghostwriter. You tell people, oh yeah, let the AI write this. Nigga, we can tell. We know. Pantheon got owl housed, but like landed on its feet for season 2, and generally just a truly neat show. Stella as a character was very underutilized. It could have been developed more, though I do love just how flawed Gugu is. Good lord, she gives Rick a run for her money. Oh, hell. I'm gonna be honest, Pedantic Cat, that's cap. Gugu's messed up, yes, but to say she's on the level of Rick Sanchez, we know, like, every other day he messes with Morty and puts some bullshit in Morty or puts him in danger. Gugu, she's a little messed up, but she at least tries to make sure Jentry doesn't die. Like, I mean, granted, Rick does try, but a lot of the time he could be careless because he's like, if you die, I can bring you back or some shit, or I'll jump to the next universe. So it's like the callousness comes through way worse. Ooh. I really need to. Thanks for coming through, Toon for Thought. It was fun it was great having you. Bathian got Owl House, but like landed on his feet for season 2. Maybe not as bad as Rick. Maybe more so Rose or Bubblegum. Yeah. I can give you that. Rose or Bubblegum. Because Rick really is like, he really wants you to. He pushes you to wonder, are you good? It's like, can I like you? Should I like you? Gugu is like, I recognize you're flawed, but I still like you. Like, because you're trying way more, that you care. You show a sense that you care, if anything. That feeling when we've been ranking morally questionable as bad characters. You can rank them. I think you can always rank them. Like, some people want to say everything's in a gray area. I know some people genuinely want to believe that, there's no evil in the world. We're all good. I mean, some people are misunderstood or something like that. And I'm just like, nah. You want to know something? There's genuine fucking evil in the world. Let's be real. There is actual evil in the world. We've seen it. And to try to pretend like, it's not as black and white. No, some things are black and white. Okay? Some things genuinely are black and white. The rich versus the working class, that's a black and white. That's fairly black and white. We could say, the rich are misunderstood. No, they're not. They know what they're doing. They got education too. They are not dumb. They are. You tell them, hey, I'm suffering, I can't buy food. They're like, work harder. Okay. So fuck you. Like, I'm like, there's genuine evil in the world. We got to be aware of that. I think that's why we can rank it. It's like there's levels to the evil. We can admit that there's levels to the evil, but there's still evil. Like, people very much like, we can't, like, someone like, but that's the thing. If we're ranking, if we're trying to talk evil in terms of malicious, like, evil to me is like, you genuinely just didn't care, like, or you just did it and you're like, I don't care that I hurt you, I don't care that you're mad. Like, that's genuine callousness that looks like evil to me. I'm like, you can't care for your fellow human being, motherfucker. You can't care for another human being like that. You can't have some sincerity to you. That's wicked. That's some wicked shit to me. Felt over other villains in Arcane. My mind can't be changed on that. Kind of low-key acknowledge it. Reason people get on Mabel is because of his video, which I appreciate. At least it's simple. It's self-awareness. What are y'all talking about? Owl House ended, but it got cut. I say something got Owl House when it got cut short, but it ended phenomenally. People still complain about Mabel and blame her for Weird Mageddon. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's always a weird thing. People blame Mabel for Weird Mageddon, and it's just like, y'all, she is a kid. Can we just admit that? Like, come on. Here we go. It's just one of those things, man. Like I made that short. It's like, she's 12. She was going through a crisis. She didn't want her world to end. if I'm right, there was something that revealed that Mabel might have been picked on. Uh, yeah, yeah, she was picked on. Yeah, now to think about it, she did get picked on when they were younger. So it makes sense that she's like, I want to stay here. It's nice. I'm not being picked on. I have friends who care about me. So when she's being told, "Hey, you're going to go back home without me there to be by your side," like, like, of course she's panicked. She's like, "Yeah, you're abandoning me. I'm gonna be by myself on my own." Like, that's not fair to her, unless Dipper was like, "Hey, can we just stay up here?" Uh, Spike Spiegel, huh? People state hating on Amber, forgetting she's damn high school girl. Amber. And the chat moved. No one should have. But the rich needs to be taxed more. It's that rich need to be taxed more, but also billionaires should not exist. It's a mix of both. Like, back in the day, we used to tax them like 70%. The rich would be taxed properly because it was always a problem of, what are you going to do with that wealth? You are not about to most of y'all are not about to make no damn businesses or use all that money just to run businesses. We know you're not. So you're taxed, in which case it's going to start going towards proper businesses, or more or less to help build up some businesses, like small businesses and such. But they lobbied the government to say, don't tax us as much, give us leeway. Don't let us hoard all of our money. That's that trickle down economics. They're like, let us keep all the money and maybe we'll pass it down by making businesses and such, so everyone else can buy into it. It's like, no, especially since a lot of those businesses, they don't hire a lot. Like, take an easy example I want to point out is, in terms of how a corporation's fucked up, is you look at Target or Walmart, Kmart, any of those major superstores. The fact, or grocery stores even, major grocery store chains, they always have lanes open. But you wonder, at first you might think, oh, it's because people just are just lazy and not not applying for the jobs. No, people have been applying for that jobs. People who are well qualified to do that job. They're just choosing not to hire people because they know they'd have to pay more. They have to pay those employees. They don't make a profit if more people are working. So you might be wondering, why aren't there so many employees here? It's by choice. It is not because people are lazy. Don't get it twisted, okay? Plenty of people can work these jobs. They choose. It's just they don't pay well. In some cases, they don't pay well, and those jobs also actively don't hire people. Like, fun fact, a lot of places are posting jobs to give the impression of the economy growing rather than actually looking to fill the positions. Yep. Fake job postings trying to say, hey, we got these jobs. You see, we're filling spots. And then you find out it's like, they maybe filled 2. It's like maybe they put out 10 jobs. Low number. I'm lowballing a little bit. 10 jobs. They'll put out 10 jobs and maybe fill in 1 position. Like, at most. Might be exaggerating. LinkedIn got hella scams on it. Yeah. Yep. A lot of time it's like, I don't even know if that's a legit job. You really got to look at your inner circles to make sure you ain't about to get hoed. Also, anyone here remember, like, Kick Patazzi? Kick Patazzi was awesome. To be honest, 1 out of 3 of the jobs posted are just scams. Yeah. The big thing you got, it's the sad reality of it. Whew. Yeah. Talking politics, ain't that funny? What is this? Let me just not look at that. Not gonna lie, I was really hoping Gentry would fill the Owl House void. It's hard to fill any of that. It's hard for anything too, because it's like nothing gets to last. I don't know. Nothing can last long. I mean, nothing gets a chance to last. I mean, yeah, your personal thing is it's just not grabbing you like you hope it would. I don't know. Talking about politics never goes well. Depends. Depends on the people. I think when it comes to politics, I think y'all can talk about it. It's just it depends on it does depend on the maturity of the people talking about it, engaging with it. Like debate classes were something that we didn't think about, but those were a way to teach children how to talk to each other. Because it's like it should be more about, okay, don't jump off the handle, don't get mad because they said certain things, especially when they didn't personally say anything against you. Like genuinely, like, just understand what's being said. Try to interpret too, because sometimes people say something that they didn't exactly mean. They may just not have had the proper verbiage a lot of the time. That can exist. Now, again, if you meet certain people who make it clear they have really bad politics, don't talk to them. Even if they're calm and collected about it, don't talk to them. If they talk about some Nazi shit, don't talk to them. They don't need to be talking. You don't need to be talking to them about nothing. They're lost causes, okay? Well, understand the concept of the lost cause, that some people genuinely are like too far gone to get anything out of. Politics are intrinsically tied to morals and personal beliefs, which gets conflicted. Sure, there's some gray areas, but some are just genuinely misguided. Yeah, a lot of people that genuinely are misguided and are just looking for a helping hand to properly understand. I would even say, again, not trying to say I'm a Trump supporter by any fucking means. I voted Kamala. But for some of those Trump supporters who voted for Trump but were ignorant, like actually just stupid, or not stupid. There's a difference. I'll get to that. Like just genuinely were unaware, not too keen on politics, and just kind of said, I don't know if it'll get that. I think you can, those are convincible. You can convince those type of people that it's like, hey, that was a mistake. You should not have voted like that, you know? But then but those who are genuinely too far gone, the people the Democrats keep trying to pull, those, don't talk to them. Yeah. It genuinely is like, there's certain types. It's like, if it's someone who genuinely was ignorant, it's like, okay, we can talk to you, and there's a way we can actually connect. You made a mistake. Now we got to try to see if you can correct that mistake. We don't want you falling so deep into the well that it's like, damn, you are a full-on MAGA. There's MAGA, and then there's just ignorant voters. They turn voting for each two into a gender war. You better than me. I can't take any of them seriously. Nah, you're not wrong, Othelius. You're not wrong, because I get it. It's because the ones who are ignorant, it's like, but don't get me wrong, if they fight you, if they genuinely are trying to fight every time, like you try to tell them, here's what it is, here's how it goes, like, then it's like, okay, you really are MAGA, and there's just your bad faith at this point. Can't do much. Disingenuous. You're disingenuous. Politics. Ooh. Chilling, calling out fraudulence. I'll change this title. Both parties are not extreme, at least in America. Yeah, one party is definitely extreme. Republicans are extreme. Democrats are just pussies. The problem with Democrats is they're just kind of pussies. Republicans are just nuts, and they're way deep in for the rich. The Democrats are lost. They got caught up in liberalism, which has just been ruining a lot of things, and not focusing on helping the poor, helping the downtrodden, helping homeless people, helping people who need health care. They got lost in thinking we need to be a big tent party that allows all the super rich in, and the super rich come in and fuck everything up. Like, it was the super rich who was running Kamala's campaign. Her, like, I think it's like her stepbrother or some shit like that was like a CEO of Nvidia. And it's like, well, of course, of course he's not really about to help her. So it really is just like, I think Democrats, they have a bit, like, I know people want to push for the third party. I don't believe in the third party system in America. It might work in other countries because, you know, their democracy is made to work like that. But with the way America's system is, unless you full on tear it down and are ready with a new system in place to fix it, right now the best bet is molding it to work better. Or I should say the best bet is working within the confines of what we got, which is sadly the two-party system. So the best bet really is do what the squad was, like the Justice Democrat, like AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib did, and like genuinely go take over the Democrats. That was their biggest push. Like, their big thing was, okay, we're going to run and we're going to overtake all these corporate, rich, establishment type Democrats and change the Democrats to be more. Calm down now, man. The Fed's watching. They'll like tear what they like tear what down now. They'll tear it down. They like tear what down now? But I mean, because I genuinely think it's like the plan of the. Sorry, that was just. The lyrics were over chart taking that one. Okay. But the squad had the AOC, Ilhan Omar. If they are not the next big voices moving into these next 4 years, I'm gonna be ashamed. It's a damn shame. Like, they need to be the loudest voices and advocating for the poor, advocating for the working class, really pushing for more progressives to run in local elections as well as the federal elections, overtaking the establishment Democrats. Stop playing nice with them. It's like either y'all with the working class or you're not. Draw lines in the sand. Like, really. That's what it is. Like, we're genuinely in a two-party system, and it's best to just work within the confines. Democrats, the big problem is the DNC is where it's like, okay, they have problems. Because that's where it's the big case of the actual establishment of Democrats running things. And you would be better served trying. Now, the better thing is getting the leadership fix there, because it's like if you get more progressives running the DNC, then there you go. You've started moving the Democrats in the better direction. Like I think they had Tom Perez who was in charge, and Keith Ellison was up, who was a much better choice for running the DNC, but sadly he lost to Tom Perez. And so, like, he's just been running it into the ground. They got a new election going. They got a new. Like, they're trying to select a new person to be in charge, and I think there's one dude named Ben something, and like that's what you're right. Like, it's just like they're not really letting the progressive moves up, and it's like, yeah, that's why the progressive movement needs to be mobilizing. Like, Killer Mike had it right. It's like strategize, mobilize. Okay, like, I know people had some contentions with him, but some of the stuff he does say was right. Like, it is like, y'all gotta actually participate, be involved, vote locally. Y'all can get a lot of stuff done just done locally. Like I said, you could push for a public option locally. Like, really, like, for a public option healthcare system, like, you can probably try to make it so it's like, okay, we'll have money set aside so it covers healthcare. I mean, for any residents of the state or so, or maybe of your town, whatever. Democrats are actually like 5 different political parties under one trench coat. Republicans are one political party. It's just that political party is near unanimous racist, sexist, and gun nuts. Mike was cool until he became a landlord and banker. Mm-hmm. People, yeah, so that's always the downside. Is the most fucked up are people who get money and they will not let that shit go. I mean, I get it. You get it in some places, but you also got to recognize it's like, bro, you've been in that position before, and you should say, I don't want anyone else to feel that neither. I want everyone to eat. I want everyone to sleep in a nice bed with some covers with a roof over their head. You know, you got to be saying that stuff. That's the other thing. Democrats need to be fighting back against right-wing narratives. That's the biggest thing that killed them in this election is they kept playing into every dumbass narrative. They played into the anti-trans narrative, into the anti-immigrants narrative, and it's like you're supposed to counter. They hit you with fire, you spit water on them. That's how it's supposed to be. But they play into the dumb games of like trying to say we're gonna make the stronger border and protect against illegal immigrants and such, and it's like, oh, we believe in common sense, and we believe that sports should be played like boys' sports should be played by boys. It's like, shut the hell up and counter these dumbass narratives, okay? This again, manufactured issues. You're playing into manufactured issues. People are struggling to pay rent. People are working 3 jobs, multiple jobs, just to pay their rent, to be able to pay the rent. People's children are starving, and you're worried about a trans child beating one jackass in a fucking triathlon race or some shit? In a school, mind you, like a high school, the place where it really doesn't matter? Because we gotta be real, most of them students ain't about to go pro. So really, like y'all all focus on all like, and it's like trans people are a minority of minority. So to try to blame them for any problems is insane. Because you really think for like 2 seconds, it's like, wait, a trans person hasn't done shit to me and they don't take anything from me. So why would I be mad at them? You know? Man, about to say ballot or the bullet. Go. I don't know about that. Ballot or the bullet. Damn. Political parties is what George Washington didn't want. Now look what happens. To be honest, I'm not about to agree on the founding fathers and how they were operating. Because the founding fathers low-key fucked up America, but that's a whole story. They really they basically set America on a path of problems because first colonization in general. It shouldn't happen. But neither here nor there. Yeah, blame John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. Don't burn down your neighborhoods. Niggas, we don't own any of this. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't burn them down, but don't burn down the houses. You know, people live in there. People need homes. Don't burn down, like, the mom and pop shops. Like, people still gotta make a living. But still, recognize your system and do not respect the establishment. Like, do not respect it. Recognize it is supposed to be working for you. It is supposed to be for the people, by the people. Like, you're not, like, the rich are not supposed to be having their way, okay? The fact that they get to buy all these dumb, because that's something that pisses me off. They buy yachts, and I'm like, why the fuck you need a yacht? Your ass ain't nautical. Your ass don't care about no fucking boats. You're just getting it because, like, you're just getting it as a status symbol. That's why I say billionaires shouldn't exist. You waste money. That money could have went towards helping the actual communities and such. And yet here you are. It's not about yacht. It's about yachts. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, yachts. They be buying yachts with an S at the end. And I'm like, nah. You try to tell me that it's worth it. Oh my god, the music stopped. Oh, I got a dog barking. But yeah, it's for them yacht parties. I'm like, yeah. Or putting a bowling alley in the house. Like, Don't get me wrong. Certain riches you can make me understand. Like say a small theater room in your house. I can. That's understandable. That's something most people could aspire to. It's like okay, maybe just one house that's just good for one room dedicated to just watching some movies and with comfy chairs. That's feasible. That's something like most people can aspire to and be good with, or a pool room or some shit like that. But these niggas are like, no, we need the biggest houses. We need all these big open square spaces just so we can host these stupid ass parties. And then some of them turn out to be fucking Diddy parties. You want to rethink why mansions need to exist now too. I'm sorry, like let's bring that conversation. Why does why does one person need a fucking mansion? What family needs a fucking mansion? None. No one needs a fucking mansion. To be honest, I think Diddy parties are way more common than people think it is. Oh, yes. Hey, you know they are way more common than we think they are. It's just they haven't come out to light like we're hoping they do after this Diddy shit. Like some shit needs to be exposed by a lot of these celebrities, dude. Like I think with our generation, celebrity worship I think dies from millennial and up and going forward. I think we're the ones who's like we made it. We know it's like yeah, don't meet your heroes. Most of these niggas suck. These are just regular folk making stuff that we do like, but that's it. It stops there. We like the stuff. We like the products you made, but we don't give a fuck about you as a person beyond that. That you can show me. If you show me that you are a genuine good person, great, cool. That does not mean I'm loyal to you. That just means I think you're nice for what I see on the surface. But when shit hits the fan and shit comes out about you, oh well, sorry, goodbye. I don't need to bother with any future endeavors of yours. Goodbye. In some cases, don't get me wrong. In some cases, it's like maybe they really did add to the culture, and it's like, do you throw away all that history and culture away? In some cases, it's like you can hold on to it, but you still acknowledge the problem. The person was bad. You say, I don't bother with nothing new from them anymore. I don't pay more into them. My heroes are artistic, probably autistic nerds who don't get paid millions of dollars. Yeah, you can look at some of your favorite creators, like favorite showrunners or TV show creators. You find out some of them aren't as rich as you think they are. A lot of them made those shows and they made millions, but they themselves are not millionaires. It happens. It's fucked up. A bigger problem is the fact that people who draw, like, you know, with the writer's strike, because I was talking to Brie Animator, she was telling me about a lot of this stuff. With the writer's strike, that, like, writers own what they write. They get to own that, you know. But animators, the people who draw, like, the people who design stuff, a weird thing is, like, if you design on any certain company's equipment, if they design a new character using company equipment, it's like, that's ours because you designed on our time or some shit. Like, it's just like, but I just wanted to design something, so it's like, yeah, you got to design on your own thing. You got to design on your own tablet. So, like, artists do not get to own their work in this industry. There's a reason why so many people are trying to push more for going indie. In some places they try to go for grant money, so it's like, hey, we trying to have a business and we're trying to keep it going. That's an option for a lot of indie stuff. Try to get grant money. It can help. It can help a lot. You know, as long as you can sell your story right. Real talk, indie's like a whole other thing. I want to be real with indie. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not to say it's the way of the future, but it is. But it's something that's like, it's one of those, it's going to start growing more as people start recognizing corporate America is just not cutting it. Like, I feel like that's just the big takeaway. I was going to call thing and there was like sorts of sentiment. Yeah, indie is not by any means. They think indie gets off by being lucky. That's wrong. Yeah, no. Indie is much harder because you're now on a massive uphill climb. You are literally building everything from scratch with no resources coming towards you. Like like all the resources are out there and you now got to gather it to yourself. Like that's just how it is. Goosework line. They succeeded because they built up an entire audience beforehand. Yeah, a lot of indie stuff works from the case of audience being built from before, and then transitioning that audience over to the new projects you're making. That's what a lot of YouTubers try to go for, and what most of us in like animation commentary space be talking. Like we want, a lot of us want to make a lot of money or make money off of YouTube to be able to fund projects, which again, you know, support the channel on Patreon. They even super chats do help. Like whatever, like I said, $1 exclusive videos. But like people put like YouTubers push their wares because it's like, yeah, a lot of us want to be able to sustain ourselves, but also to make the things we want to make as well, other things, and we'd be able to give it back to y'all like through YouTube or so. That's what people thought could happen. It's like, if I do YouTube for a little bit, I can, if I'm starting off with like live video, eventually I can transition to something else and introduce my audience into that and get them to continue to support me through that, you know? They are under the radar because they don't have an audience. Yeah. You have to establish the audience prior, which is why I'm trying to get YouTube up and running again. Yeah. It's always a case of like, you do need to have an audience and you need to be willing to engage with them firsthand. Because a lot of people will go indie and push and make a Kickstarter, and it's like, okay, they think the idea is strong enough, which they are good ideas. Indie cartoons do have a lot of good ideas, but the thing is, it's coming in with no recognition. Nobody knows who the people making it are. No, there's no names, no big names on it that people will be like, oh yeah, that. You know, there's a reason why certain indie stuff ends up working, because you find out, oh, this particular voice actor is on it. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? It usually is something that gets people to say, okay, now I need to pay attention to this. It's like, I should pay attention to this. You got to play into fan base a bit, you know? You don't need to, I wouldn't say sell your stuff. Say it's similar like to this one show you watched, because I think that could be more of a death nail. But I think it's genuinely like play into like, hey, you might like this thing we got, or because it has this favorite voice actor of yours, or maybe this certain animator of yours, or so on, you know? I'll be honest, a large reason why I became a YouTuber is that as a naive 17-year-old back then, I thought it'd be easy to become rich. I think that's what many thought too. I'll admit I came in thinking, ooh, that'd be nice to do, but I wasn't thinking about rich and famous too much. I did want notoriety. I did want to have a following, but again, it was to move towards bigger and better things. It's like I want to do YouTube to build up and then move towards something else, but that other thing you wanted to move towards is also kind of having a crisis. So it's like, oh great, you know, it just sucks. I'll be honest. I think it's also the other issue is like people are making ideas that fit the budget as opposed to building the budget that fulfills the idea itself. Ideas. People are making ideas that fit the budget as opposed to building the budget that fulfills the idea itself, which is counterintuitive to a professional mindset. You don't make $1 million idea with a budget of $40K. Okay, I like. Give me something to think on that. You don't make $1 million idea with a budget of $40K. Yeah, it's like you get the idea and you blow this up to be this big thing, but you fail to realize, yo, draw it back a little bit. You don't have a budget like that. Like, you are working within the confines of a budget. Like, like, it's always the case that you have to always, that's why you put your stuff through scrutiny. You get feedback, you get people, like, say if you write a script, you show it to not just other writers, you show it to storyboard artists, you show it to people who would have to make this work. So who would know how to make this work, the people who would bring it to life, and they'll tell you this is a lot. They'll say, you got, like, I've written scripts and they've been analyzed, and they would tell me, hey, yeah, this scene where you're describing all this action, that looks like a lot to have to animate. That's so much to have to keep in track of. And it's like, oh, you fix that. You need to bring that back down. Because it's like, no. Because it's like, hey, that's not supposed to be like that. I mean, or hey, you're going over budget. Or even if you haven't established a budget, it's also to make sure you're aware that it's like, hey, be aware of your money. Don't screw yourself up by trying to make your opus with like your first project. That's the first thing they will tell you in like film schools. Like, don't try to make your opus. Your opus comes after a long career of doing this for a while and really understanding it, understanding the guides, the rules and such, understanding when you can break the rules, and understanding how to break the rules to make it, and making sure it works. After that, that's when you make your opus. So it really can be like you get too caught up into the concepts that flow in your head, and it's exciting because you're like, ooh, it's gonna be so amazing to make this, but it's like, restrict yourself. Okay, remember, it's like, it's still gonna get made, and then stuff's gonna be either be added or cut out. That's the other thing, and likely cut out, because now that's why they tell you, push yourself to as far as extreme. Write just that full-on garbage, write something that's just crazy, and then come back, reread it, and you'll realize this is a lot, this is too much to be happening. This is going to, like, really think about, if you were to budget this, if you were to make this really, how would you budget this? How would you make sure this could be made in an affordable sense? Basically, don't peak too early. Yeah, don't think you've made, like, I have some ideas that I'm like, I want to get them made, but they are not my pinnacle. They are not like the absolute opus. There are some things that's like, I've been thinking about this, I've been trying to get it made and such, or trying to get something done with it since like high school or so, but it's like, again, I don't think of it as my opus. But staying in budget is great for production purposes. They're playing cheap and for example, adulting. The idea is low budget animation friendly, but you're presenting it to the indie space where they're used to lackadaisy has been. They're playing cheap and feasible as opposed to making something truly insane art for it. Staying in budget is great for production purposes, but indie space is about artistic presentation, but that requires money. You shouldn't lower the quality of your idea to fit the budget. Instead, spend a lot of time building the budget to make said opus. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Like, build up the money to be able to make the big thing you want to make. I would say, yes, of course, build up the money, but you also still have to be coming in with something. But I do think if you're going to make your opus, you make your opus later. You don't start yourself off. If you haven't made an indie series or indie movie or anything like that before, do not call this your opus. You know what I mean? Anything y'all see from, if I'm ever to make something in the future, stay tuned. Don't think of I'm never gonna announce this is my magnum opus. This is gonna be the absolute greatest thing I've ever created, because I'm like, no, this is an idea I had, and I have a lot of faith in it, and I put a lot of effort into it, and so on. That type of deal. I'm not about to call it the opus yet, until I feel I have an opus. We have been talking a minute. Later, Pedanticat saying about to go catch up on Dan. That's been good, but yeah. Going for 2 hours, rambling, ranting, talking politics, all the good stuff, but I think it's safe to like call it here. This was fun though. I like just coming on and just kind of shooting the shit for a bit. Just talk politics. absolutely make it later. I'm just saying I love shows that are dynamic like Gentry as opposed to something Family Guy, easy, cheap, rig ideas. I think there's a point. There's a reason for Family Guy. This will be the last point to make, but Family Guy is popular for a reason because a lot of people really enjoy that type of stuff. Sometimes you want to come home and you just want some dumb fun. Not every episode, not every show can be, overly masterful stuff that's supposed to be super artistic and everything. Sometimes you just want a silly, cheap laugh. And working with, and I think there's a place for some things, So, hell, I would want Indie to even try to make their own Family Guys if they can. Not exactly Family Guy by no fucking means. Make your own shit with your own seasoning. But I would like to see something unique. But I think there's always a place for those type of productions where it feels cheaply made, but it's clearly we really wanted to focus more on just trying to make something unique and fun, or just make something fun. Like, say, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That is a very cheaply made show. It's very cheaply made, but they're like, we got it. We just had to make this because we had the jokes. We had something to say. But it worked. The cheapest made thing ended up being a massive hit. That's why even when Aqua Teen came back and they were actually able to animate it and make it look more professional and such, it didn't feel right, did it? A lot of people felt it looked weird or moved odd. Yeah, like new Aqua Teen, if we look at it real quick. Intro. Yeah, this is the latest one. Look at this. You see how they move? It's too smooth. It looks odd. Like this doesn't feel like Aqua Teen the way this, usually they would just be stilted. Oh no. Yeah, no. See, I don't like how that moves. That's why. I think there's just a place for it. Yeah, see, Othelia's like, they got a budget now. Yes, they got a budget now, and it doesn't feel right. Like, this is something where it's like, it can move smoother, yes, but now the charm is gone. There can be charm to cheapness. There's charm to cheapness. Like, you already hear, folks. There is charm to some cheapness, okay? So, I think you can appreciate something that managed to push through its budget problems and actually work well and come out better because it managed to push through. Like, it actually overcame something, you know what I mean? My man said go back to being... I'm not saying do that. If you get money, use it, please. But there is just some charm to seeing something try to work through the bullshit, or work through a struggle. If it's like, yeah, this is the money we had, this is the limit, so this is where we worked with what we could do, what we had. So I don't think, because I think, yeah, building a budget is good. Don't get me wrong. You should be able to do that. Like, put some savings away for yourself if you can to help your dream. Inverse of that, Venture Brothers got so much better. Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, it varies from place to place. I don't mind a little silliness. Yeah. A little silliness can go a long way for a lot of people. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there, everybody. I want to say thanks for coming in for this impromptu stream. I might do this more so often, especially since I do want to be a bit more active on things. So it's been fun. Glad I was able to talk politics with y'all, and I'm glad y'all listen. Like, I'm glad y'all were willing to hear me out and share some of your politics too. I think that's just something moving forward we need to be able to do. It's just talk our shit and be able to, and just stand on it. Stand on business. Like, that's just how I see it. But like I always say, it's just a thought.